You're welcome to today's seminar. It's good to have you. How's your big week been? All right?
Stressful.
Stressful, is it? Okay. Uh, our seminar this week is focused on the assignment we have, on the deadline for the assignment. It's Monday, the 26th of November. So can I ask how far you've gone with your assignments? Anybody tell me, are there any challenges you're facing at the moment? Yeah? Any challenges you're facing?
Knowing like how to make the school year, like how to make it flow.
How to make it flow. Okay. Right. Now, when you say how to make it flow,
In terms of like the structure.
structure, that's right. And I suppose that's from one paragraph to another. Is that correct? Okay, we'll go through that. How about you? Challenges you're facing at the moment regards to the assignment? Not sure. Okay.
Somewhat saying keeping the essay like relevant and on track the question.
Right. Okay. Now, let's look at the coursework briefing again. We've done this before, but we're revisiting it again. First, our focus is clear. We're looking at energy and sport drink consumption in the UK. So if you get data from the UK, your focus is on the UK, but that doesn't stop you from comparing what's happening in other countries. For instance, things that are happening around Europe in terms of sugar tax, other parts of the world, in South Africa, or perhaps in the United States. And you could just compare with what we currently have in the UK. As I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, the sugar tax has just been introduced in the UK, and we're coming late into that kind of regulatory reform. European countries are far ahead of us in terms of the sugar tax, and perhaps there have been some changes they've seen in the level of consumption. Now, if you look at the question carefully, the first sentence is focused on a data, and it's clearly stating that from 2006 to 2014, there have been an increase in consumption. So what does that mean to you? Anyone? What time gap are we looking at here? 2014. How many years is that? 8 years. So in 8 years, there have been some drastic changes in terms of consumption. So we need to find out where that data comes from. The consumption level for energy and sport drinks has increased. So perhaps a good way to start is just look for where they got that information from. What do you mean by being doubled? How has the consumption been doubled? Who are those consuming it? These are some of the questions you want to ask. But quickly it says, to what extent will the UK sugar tax impact marketing activities? So we see, number one, consumption level. Number two, sugar tax impact. Marketing activities. What are we referring to when we talk about marketing activities? Anyone? Marketing activities? Just come in. Sit down. To what extent will UK sugar tax impact the marketing activities? Promotions, quickly. So we know marketing activities. Quickly apply our 4 P's. Activities of companies that are producing energy and sport drinks in terms of products, promotions. What else? Price, yeah. Next P. So clearly what we're looking at is UK UK sugar tax and the impact on this 4Ps. Definitely the impact on that, the impact on promotion, the impact on price, the impact on place. What effect will it have? If I change your timetable today, if I change this lecture from 11 o'clock to 9 o'clock, what impact will it have on you? You'll be tired, and what might that do to you? Good? Yeah? If I change the timetable, what impact will it have on you? You might not even come in. Okay. And so, in terms of how they promote, in terms of promotional activities, give me examples of promotional activities. Anybody? Promotional activities. Say, commercials? TV commercials? Yes, that's good. Yeah. TV commercials. This UK tax, as an example, how will it affect TV commercials of the companies producing this energy and sport drinks? Anyone? As an example, yes. How do you think it will affect it? It will, sorry?
Will it? Question, will it affect how that will
I think it will.
in terms of TV adverts?
Yeah. So with the TV advert, what do you think they'll be trying to do?
Companies would have to start marketing as less sugar.
That's right. That's right. Because the awareness, due to the sugar tax, the awareness of sugar and the implications of sugar in our drinks is becoming an issue of national concern, it will affect promotion as well. Okay, having said that, one, we have data. Two, we have the first part of the question. Now, Lucozade Sports is just an example. There are quite a lot of them, and we'll see in a clip very soon. Another issue here we have is the millennials. And with the millennials, we're talking about consumption. So clearly you want to identify that. And we've already defined millennials. Who are the millennials? Anyone? Yeah? Age group?
From the 1987 to 2011.
That's right. That's correct. Okay. Now, you should part two. Now, the first part is the data. Yeah? The information. We need to find out more about that. First part is what we need to do, the impact, which we have here as an example. All right? I mean, this is just the basic. We could go more into what the organization does. The second part is explain your reasoning, it says, with reference to 4Ps and the marketing environment. But quickly, in terms of the marketing environment, what should you do in terms of analysis? Anybody? So we have our 4Ps here. That's good. What should we do in terms of the marketing environment? Pastel, correct. Absolutely. And so we have our 4Ps, and then we have our pastel. So what's our P? Anybody? Political. The first E could be any of the E's. Yeah? Ecological environment, okay. What's the next one? Social cultural, yeah. The next? Another person? How about you? T? Come on. T. Pestle.
Psychology.
Yeah? And that E, the very important one? Economical. And the L? Come on. Legal. Okay. The legal environment. Clearly, the sugar tax is coming into law. So there are legal implications, a lot for you to discuss. The sugar tax has some financial implications because of the cost. Yesterday during the seminar, we had a bit of discussion, not with your group, but in terms of what do you think the impact will be on technology? Anybody, what do you think the impact will be on technology for this companies producing this energy and sport drink? Just curious in our discussion.
What does it do with like the ingredients?
Correct. So we have the formula in terms of sugar content or sugar levels. That's correct. Well done. What else? Technology? Come on. Hello. What impact for the tax have? Just looking at technology in general. How about Coca-Cola? What did Coca-Cola do in terms of sugar? Anybody?
They started a new campaign on how they had changed the recipe for how many years they've been going.
Okay,
And they refused to change the recipe.
that's right. Yeah, good. Coca-Cola, anybody as an example? In terms of technology?
They're producing smaller bottles.
That's right, yeah. Advantage, yeah. What else? They came up with a formula, they came up with a new product, yeah, where they could have a good taste, but the sugar content is out. So you have zero, Coca-Cola zero, yeah? Hello, zero sugar, but still good. And so with science and technology, with research and development, could be advantage for organizations to look at what's there in the marketing environment and change their product accordingly. So can I take your questions? Any questions? As we go on, questions? Yes, please.
Is marketing environment is personal rather the only like way to assess the marketing environment, or is there other factors you should look at?
Yeah, quite a lot you could look at. You could look at the market segment as an example. All right?
So what about that specific consumer?
Exactly. For instance, we talked about millennials. We talked about the difference between the consumer and the customer, and how the consumer can also be the customer. So you could look at market segments, yeah. You could look at trends within the industry, developments within the market. You could look at competitors as well within the market, yeah. And you could come up with good data to help you look at what's happening in the market. So beyond that, but what we're saying is basic. At least you should do those two analyses. And if you now have more room for more, of course you should. Does that answer your question? Thank you. Any other question? Okay. We've gone through our essay plan. Now, for the actual essay, you've got a maximum of 2,500. Is that correct? Come on, can you answer, please? Yes. Okay. Now, the deadline is on Monday, and we're submitting via Turnitin. If you have problems with Turnitin, please let us know. Go to the library, have some practice. You could submit before the deadline and then resubmit, but after the deadline, the version you have, that's it. Because we have some students that do submit just to see the level of plagiarism and all that, yeah? And it's not the final submission, yeah? So you could do that, to play around with it. So get more support from the library to do that. Is that okay? Good. Now, the rubric is what we're using. Now you have it in your handbook. So please refer to that. Take time to study it. Now, as a rule of thumb, per paragraph, in terms of references, yeah? How many should I have per paragraph? Just for my essay, as a rule of thumb, just to guide me. What should I have?
Per paragraph.
Yeah, per paragraph. Standard paragraph.
At least one.
At least one.
At least one.
Better, yeah. One won't get you much money. Yeah? 5 to 8 will be fine. Standard paragraph. Oh, look at that. Let's see. Excellent. What does it say about references? Yeah? Anybody? When we did our course plan, we made it clear in terms of references. Yeah? Come on. excellent use of a wide range of literature, including effectively using a range of relevant journal articles and contemporary examples, in addition to the core text. So we need you to use not just academic literature. What other kind of literature can you use? I know you had a section where you met with the library staff. What did you do?
You can use newspaper articles as well as.
Yeah, that's right. But I know you had a session with the library staff, and you had a session where you went through how to use
Market research.
market research, data, reports, right?
Market life, Intel.
Mintel, good examples. All right. Any other question? Now, this is our promise to you that we'll turn around in 15 working days. We'll be using the rubric when we mark. We'll also give good feedback so you know what to expect. There will be overall comment. What was done well will be indicated. What should be improved, and how you could actually improve your work for the essay submission. You have the marking scheme in your module handbook. Now, what I did for the first part of the seminar was just to go through the question, analyzing the question, trying to understand the question. And in doing that, I also want you to go through our next exercise, and I want you to work in groups as well. And let's see how you come up with more information on the question. The UK tax, in terms of what you've written, what information do you have about the UK tax in terms of the UK as a whole? Tell me, is there anything going on in terms of the difference between the different regions from what you've read?
Well, sugar tax, right?
The sugar tax, yeah?
Canada is something similar to it,
Sorry?
just UK or worldwide?
UK, in terms of the UK, what information have you got so far with the sugar tax?
It's just like how much they're charging per litre,
Okay,
what drinks fall within the legislation,
that's good.
and what drinks don't,
Good.
and why they're changing the recipe so we're looking more beneficial sweet, I think.
Very good, very good, very good. Have you taken time to look at the legislation, the tax itself, to just read the document? Have you done that? Okay. Let's see if we can just walk in pairs after this video, and I'll go through this process in a minute. But just to analyze the question further and get more information. If we go back to the question, quickly, what kind of players do you identify here? Just out of interest. Who are the players here? Who are the actors here? Actors. Millennials one, yeah? Any other person? Millennials, actors, yeah, one? Yeah, Lucas said.
The providers?
Yes, the manufacturers, yeah, the company. Yeah, who are that? Yes, we've got millennials. They are the one consuming. Those producing the drinks. The companies, the manufacturers. So you mentioned Lucas there. Who else? Do we have in here? Remember we're talking about sugar tax. Sorry?
Government.
Government, good. So we have the UK government, we have manufacturers, and then we have consumers. Three major players. Is that clear? Sorry?
Oh no, something so.
Okay. Right. Let's have a look at this quickly, and I want you to take notes, please. See if we can work in pairs. Yeah? Let's work in pairs on this. I'll take some notes. If you need a paper, I've got a paper here. And see if you identify certain things that you've not included in your assignment. Is that okay? All right? Let's have a look at this clip.
Sugar tax, which affects the sale of sugary drinks. The bill, which is officially called the Soft Drinks Industry Levy, requires shoppers to pay up to 24 pence more per litre, depending on how much sugar has been added to the drink. If a drink has more than 5 grams of sugar per 100 millilitres, they'll be taxed 18p per litre. This means that the price of a 500 millilitre bottle of Sprite will go up by 9 pence. However, drinks with more than 8 grams of sugar per 100 millilitres are taxed at 24 pence per litre, resulting in a 500 millilitre bottle of Coca-Cola costing 12 pence more. Pure fruit juices are excluded from the tax, so their prices will remain unaffected. This means that customers will begin to pay a bit more for their favourite sugary drinks in the UK. The new law is designed to try and reduce the number of sugary drinks consumed by UK citizens in an effort to tackle the rise in obesity-related diseases. The government has decided the best way to stop you from consuming as much sugar is to hit your wallet with a tax on sugary drinks. So, as the new tax applies to the very popular sugary drinks industry, surely there'll be a big increase in tax revenue, right? Well, kind of. When the bill was initially announced back in 2016, it was estimated that the tax would bring in £500 million of extra revenue for the government. However, later in 2016, this estimate fell to £375 million. Then the estimate tumbled even further to £265 million in the 2017 budget. Undeniably, £265 million is still a lot of money, but why has the estimated revenue fallen by nearly half in just a year? The answer is simple. Fewer sugary drinks which could be taxed are now being sold. This is partially due to some people cutting back on the quantity of sugary drinks they're consuming for health reasons, but it's also due to the manufacturers of the drinks. Drinks manufacturers are beginning to reformulate their drinks and to promote sugar-free alternatives harder than ever. This can be seen as a success for the tax. Ultimately, the tax is designed to reduce the amount of sugary drinks being consumed in the UK, and it seems the bill has already begun to impact manufacturers. This reflects the result of a similar tax in Hungary, which caused a 40% decrease in the amount of sugar used in sugary drinks. A large number of beverage manufacturers have reduced the amount of sugar in their drinks to avoid the new tax. The companies behind Iron Brew, Ribena, Lucozade, and many others have changed their recipes to reduce sugar and avoid the new tax. In fact, the company that own Ribena and Lucozade say they've reduced sugar in their brands by 50% since the law was announced in 2016. However, all this change isn't entirely due to the new tax. Companies have for some time been working to promote sugar-free drinks, since way before the tax was even announced. Generally, consumers are becoming more cautious about what they're eating and drinking, so companies are working to provide drinks which will satisfy customers' changing needs. For example, since 2014, PepsiCo have committed to only advertising their sugar-free Pepsi Max in the UK, and as a result, 70% of Pepsi sales in the UK are non-sugar variants. So while the tax can be given credit for some of the reduction in sugary drink consumption, companies have been moving towards low-sugar drinks for a while. Despite the positive effects on public health, the tax will undeniably damage businesses, which goes against Theresa May's generally pro-business stance. Oxford Economics estimates that 4,000 jobs are at risk due to the new tax. It's estimated that profits in the hospitality sector and for small retailers are expected to drop by about 132 million as a result of the tax. In addition to this, there are questions surrounding how effective taxes like the one the UK is introducing really are at reducing sugar consumption. How much effect can a tax of a few pence really be expected to have on the amount people consume? Some people argue there's insufficient evidence that the tax will really work in the long term. In some places where similar taxes have been tried before, there was initially a reduction in consumption, which diminished over time. Time will tell how customers feel about having to pay more for their favourite drinks in the UK. What do you think? Will a tax of a few pence really stop you from grabbing a bottle of your favourite sugary drink? Or might it make you think twice? Let us know what you think in the comments. And while you're at it...
Okay. So what do you think? Let's see if we can write some things down. Can we? Yeah? Let's flip the class a bit, as we usually do. Yeah? Would that be alright? Come on, let's get some energy in the class. Let's, turn it around. Let's do that. Quick. Quick. Come on. Don't have much time. Are you talking for it? Yeah? That's right. Well done. Good. Good. Quickly.
Join these together.
Dropping 500 in there.
Why did they do it?
So in 2016, it was just 500 million.
Yeah, I've got this for you.
Why is it?
You got a paper there.
The estimated revenue dropped to
Yeah. So some manufacturers were actually reacting to the tax and then changing brand, so they're not paying. So the amount you're expecting to collect from them is zero because like Coca-Cola just dodging the tax. Yeah. Now, while you're getting ready, please, can I have your answers on this, and then we stick it to the wall, please? Tell me from the debate you just listened to in terms of the discussion. Yeah. What do you think? On whose side is this guy really is? Anybody? From what you picked? I mean, he was a bit fair just comparing both, but what do you think is? Do you think is really biased? Yeah, he was not really into it. Yes, that's correct. How about you?
Factual.
Factual, yes.
Negative facts.
Negative facts.
He didn't mention how it's
expected 500 if no one changes their product.
So whose side, with the actors, whose side do you think is really on this guy?
They use on the government side.
Government side. So please, are you listening? We're looking at the actors, and from what we've listened to, do you think he was a bit biased? Someone said he's on the middle, the other said factual, another person said anti-government, kind of, a little bit. Three main actors here: consumers, manufacturers, or what you call producers, and the UK government. So who do you think is really more leaning towards? He's more sympathetic to which of the actors? Manufacturers? That's correct. Yes. That's what I think. Anybody? No? No, you could have a different opinion. You think it's more sympathetic to
Because a lot of like the health or the manufacturers were affected also.
Good. So on the middle, is it? All right.
Probably ways to find it out, like where they put the money.
Yeah, let's get some things written in terms of what you think might be good for your essay. Yeah.
But where they, the cash revenue that they're going to get.
Yeah.
So there's a certain amount of where they want to invest that. Would that be relevant?
I think from the literature, we know that when you have tax of this kind for regulation, it will go to the NHS to research in terms of the causes, for instance, obesity, affecting the teeth, dental issues, and all that.
About the
So the research and development, I think, yeah, and the health sector, yeah. Okay, information you think you got from this video that will be relevant to your essay. All right. Things that you hadn't thought of before in terms of the way he went about with the arguments, yeah? Looking at the way he argued, how would that help your essay?
Well, it's potentially like social.
And look at the way he presented his facts as well. Look at the logic, the way he presented his facts, yeah?
No, that's substitute. Sugar substituted with
Good. And who are the guys who are responding? Who are the guys responding here? Manufacturers. So it's good to know as well who is responding to what.
One-to-one production, what we showed in the production.
Have you seen the way he used data in a convincing way, just to support his point, his view? You think that's really good?
Well, yeah.
How did he use data to support his argument? How did he present his data?
He used like visual.
Very good, very good, very good. Yeah. So in your essay, you might think, yeah, why not? Yeah.
I just say what the government is hoping to.
How about you talked about graph? How about statistics? Do you think statistics are good when you try to argue things like this? Yeah, data. Very, very, yeah, good. Like I said when we started, when the proposition that consumption doubled, where did they get that from? Try and check. What it was originally and what it was now. Why did we have the tax dragging from 2016 to 2018? I just want to know. What are the issues? Why? That shouldn't take much of our space, but it's of interest. You know what I mean? What has been going on? Why sugar tax? Why did it go for 3 years?
Well, why did they? What?
Yeah. Why? Let's just know. Perhaps there will be information there to help us in terms of the parties involved. We don't want to be distracted completely, but these are relevant information. Good.
So what about them told us not to control the
The rationale,
Well, maybe good
the reason behind the tax is also why is the government to understand the problem we're trying to fix?
the health
Like
service.
not writing.
And the whole reason
What they're trying to use to fix a problem is a law, isn't it?
it was rolled out in April this year. I think.
And you also know that the sugar tax is also has another name as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you very much.
You say it's been before acknowledging truth before, is that right?
There's another name for the sugar tax. You've done your research. There's another name for the sugar tax. You should demonstrate.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
So I just want to do the name.
How are we doing? Now, hello, can I have your attention please, just for a minute? I have sections here, we don't have time to go through them, but these are just blank slides. Just reminding you that these are sections at least you should have in your essay, okay? 4 P's, marketing environment, sugar tax.
Should you comment on every bit of pastel, even if it's not like you can't write a massive paragraph on it, so like technology or something like that, you can't write matters about section of pastel or focus on 3 main parts.
I think you should do a thorough analysis and just look for information. What you're looking for here is one, analyzing the impact of sugar tax on that in terms of the micro environment, and then the impact of sugar tax in terms of the macro environment. So you want to see what impact it will have. Some might have more and some might have less. So you might have more to say about certain things, but you should cover. Is that all right? Okay. Now, please, just a minute up here. Sugar tax. Do your research. Yeah. Soft drinks. Do your research. Millennials. And then we'll talk about the structure in a minute. Okay? Let's get back to work. I have one more video for you, and then we'll conclude. So those sections, at least for you to have a very good mark, you need to cover the sections, and then you can do more for your A's for like 89, 90 and stuff. Yeah? Hello, can I have your attention please?
Yeah.
Hello? The question, the essay question should be answered. The essay question should be answered. And there are two main questions within the essay. Let's go back. Let's revisit the question for a minute. Can you look up here for a minute, please? The two main questions here. Who can tell me what the first question is? Two main questions in here. At the end of your work, you should have answered those two questions. The first one is what? That's right. To what extent? Yeah? Analyzing the impact. What's the second question? Anybody?
Just for the earners. Just like the team group.
Yeah. I mean, you mean the first part, just give an example, yeah. Yeah. They've mentioned them because I think they've been the ones really affected by this in terms of consumption, but they are not the only ones involved. Okay? What's the second question? Yes, and that is it. Is that with reference to the analysis? Yeah? So it's the reasoning behind. Yeah? Explain your reasoning with reference to the analysis that you've done. So you need to cover that adequately. All right. Do we have some information you want to share with us? Yeah? Somebody from your group can just shout it out.
You're just saying like I think it's quite significant how the tax revenue was adjusted from 500 mil to
Okay, the tax revenue.
because of companies reducing sugar
Right.
than just passing on.
Okay, good. So the producers, please, can I have your attention here? So you've identified that the producers have reacted, yeah, by reducing the sugar content in the drinks. Okay, that's good. Let's have something from your group there, yeah.
Sugar substituted with sweeteners for manufacturers, so they're changing their recipes to more chemical kind of substance.
Substitute for sugar. Good, very good, very good. Still, we are on the side of the producers. So when we come with our argument, yeah, with those three actors, we kind of balance our argument with them, yeah. We don't just focus on the government and leave out the producers or the consumers. We'll try and balance our argument across. All right, let's have something from your group here.
There's a lot of political stuff to do with it.
Politically motivated, you think?
Yeah, I think there's a big attempt by the government to stand up to these industries. The UK government seems very weak at the moment.
Right.
It's not doing it to help the NHS out, because obviously the government is just messing up the NHS.
Right. It's a good argument here, Theresa May is trying to do.
It's more like for her, almost for her reputation as well.
For her reputation. Yeah, okay. You could remember your reasoning with facts, with references. Yeah? Good.
Sure, it changed the recipe. Oh, they said that it would raise revenue, but it would also impact corporate hospitality companies. They lose £100 million.
Right. Negative impact on companies, is it? Okay. And again, the economy, yeah? Oh, that's good.
How's that? What do you mean by that? Sounds interesting.
Part of the argument is that some companies are actually losing sales. Because the reasoning behind the tax, the government introducing that, is to reduce consumption. And when consumption is reduced, what happens? There's a word in marketing, there's what we do in marketing, sales. Sales is what? Consumption is reduced. Sales is what? Sales of the product. What happens to the sales of the product? If the demand is, tell me, say it down. Down, goes down. And when When sales goes down, what happens to the company? What happens to the producers? Sales going down because you're not consuming as you were consuming before. So what happens to the company?
Losing business.
Losing business. And when you lose business, what would that mean in terms of certain aspect of your company, as an example?
Make less profit.
Less profit, good. What else? What impact there? Job loss is correct. Absolutely. So again, see, the argument goes on and on, depending on whose side you are. But don't stick to any side per se. Just look at the evidence before you. Okay, let's have the second video, and you compare what you got from here with the other one. So I have separate paper for you to pass this around. This is for the next video. Let's see if there's any additional information we have. So are we ready? Okay.
Children in Britain may be banned from drinking these energy drinks, many so high in sugar and caffeine and cheap that the government is worried about health risks.
Childhood obesity is the main issue that the government is looking to address here, but it's not the only one. Dental problems that are caused by these high sugar drinks. These also got supporting quotes from teachers who say that this actually really affects behaviour in classrooms. 11 grams of sugar per 100 millilitres.
Reuters' Will James says the ban could mimic alcohol laws in the UK, meaning it will be illegal for children under the age of 18 to buy energy drinks. Some supermarkets had already banned sales to under 16s earlier this year after a tax on sugar came into effect. France and Mexico, among other countries, also have plans to take action on sweet drinks. Now, the new UK ban could be a double whammy for brands like these.
This policy is looking at high caffeine drinks, but also these drinks are high sugar, so they will have also been caught up in the sugar tax. This is all part of a grand scheme at looking at childhood obesity as an issue and all the other side issues that come alongside energy drinks as well.
The government announced its intentions on Thursday in a statement, saying that teens in Britain consume 50% more energy drinks than their European counterparts. The UK ban would apply to drinks with 150 milligrams of caffeine per litre or more, but it would only apply in England, leaving Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland to make their own decision on whether to bin the drinks.
When you say UK millennials drink consume 50% more sugar than European,
I think I have that. You could verify that.
sugar or just drinks?
Yeah. Okay. Let's write down some information that I think will be relevant to our work.
So the main
Yeah. This video focuses more on consumers. Yeah. Sympathy. Please write. Yeah. He's a bit leaning towards who? Is leaning towards who? Yeah, consumers. Yeah. Yeah. Some good factors.
Yeah, interestingly about
Good. Now, I need you to research more. Take this with you when you go home over the weekend. We're submitting on Monday. Find out in terms of the sugar tax itself from your research. Yeah. It's more of a UK wide, but at least it will be of interest to you to see why is it not the same in Wales, in Scotland, and England? What will it mean for businesses? Just out of interest. You must demonstrate your knowledge of the sugar tax when you argue. Yeah? And it's also good to compare with what is happening in other parts of the world. We have a comparison here with which part of the world? In terms of consumption? The EU, yeah? Europe? UK versus Europe? And what's the information we have? We consume more?
50%.
Correct. Again, when you bring in data and facts, it must be from references that are credible. All right? Okay? I would suggest you go into academic journals, yeah? Go into publications and reports and check and verify this information so you can reference them properly. All right? Now, if we had a debate in the House of Lords, we could reference that. But this particular video, I wouldn't say you reference it straight away. I would say you take out the information and check. I will reference from reports. I'll reference from news in terms of broadcasts and stuff like that. So the source must be credible. This is credible, but I suggest you take it further and verify, yeah, and see what the debate is in the literature. Questions? Anything you have there to share with us?
The main problems here from combat.
The main problems. Can we listen to him, please? Yeah? The problems.
Obesity,
Yeah?
dental problems, and classroom behavior.
Good. And that takes me straight to our structure. Can I have your attention for, say, 5 minutes, and then we'll continue later? Yeah? Let's go straight into our structure. With our time. And I'll take your questions. Now, from what we did before, tell me the 3 main parts of your essay. 3 main parts of your essay. Anybody? Introduction. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah?
Middle. Or main body.
Main body. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Number 3? Conclusion. Correct. Now, introduction, your main body, and conclusion. You're mindful of the number of words you have. 2,500. Is that correct? Okay. So, with the introduction, some academic writers, they love to write their introduction at the end when they finish everything. Yeah? Do you do that? Hello? Some writers leave the introduction to the very end. So they finish everything and then they write the introduction because they know what it's all about. Have you done that before? It's a good practice. But again, I don't do that all the time. Sometimes I plan out what I want to write and then I write. But you have no right or wrong ways of writing your introduction. But your introduction should tell us a bit about what you want to discuss. Yeah? Should demonstrate that you understand the topic. Okay? And demonstrate that you understand the problem as well. Yeah? The problem. What's the reason behind all this sugar tax? Why are we talking about sugar tax? Tell me, what's the problem? Quite a number of factors with the problem. What's the problem with the sugar tax? Why the sugar tax in the first place? We've been having these drinks for years. 2016, the issue of sugar tax came up. So why sugar tax? What's the problem?
Well, a health one then.
Health, yeah. In terms of health. So what's it about health? Any other person?
Diabetes.
Diabetes, yes, that's one, yeah.
Obesity.
Health, obesity, yes. And what's the implication of that on everybody? Why should we all be concerned about that?
What money is going into the NHS?
NHS, yeah. Good. Yeah. Negative impact on the NHS. What else? Why should sugar tax affect everybody? Why should government actually be thinking of a law? A levy? Why?
Because they provide healthcare for us. So
Yeah, NHS they provide. Yeah, good. Go on.
yeah, they obviously so if they're providing healthcare, then part of their job is to obviously care for their people.
Good.
So a good way to do that rather than solve the problem, just stop the problem in the first place.
Good. So the aim is to reduce consumption. Reduce consumption. Now, with sugar tax, I also found out that sugar itself can be addictive. Did you find out while you were doing your research? People can be hooked on sugar. They have what we call a sugar fix. You didn't know that? Okay, structure, introduction. You need to decide number of paragraphs that will be in your introduction. Okay? That's for you to decide. I've seen introductions that are not introductions. I've seen paragraphs that are too tiny, just 3 sentences in a paragraph. I mean, it's really, but for an essay, you want a bit more, don't you? All right? Standard paragraphs. Some paragraphs will be short. It depends on what you... Leading sentences in your paragraphs. All right? I like to justify my paragraph and make it look neat. Yeah? You know what I mean by justify? Keep it blunt, nice, not scattered. Yeah? And leading sentences to my paragraphs. Now, my main body, what should I have in my main body? Introduction is fine. What should I have in my main body?
All the information, statistics.
Data, statistics, good. What else should I have in my main body? My analysis, good. Any other?
References.
Yeah, I should have all through my paragraph, I should have references. Yeah. I should actually answer my questions. Yeah. I should answer my questions. I should present my facts. I should compare, critique. Yeah. Analyze. And then conclusion. What do we have here? You summarize the main point. Don't tell us something really new per se, but just come to a conclusion from the evidence you provided, more like a courtroom scenario. Any questions?
Are we going to be ignoring energy drinks? Or, because it mentions that obviously the first line of the question, and then the actual question doesn't ask anything about energy drinks. Like, are we going to be separating energy drinks from sports drinks? Or they're two different things. The question really asks about how sports drinks.
I think the drinks in that category should be covered. So what we're looking at is energy and sport drinks. But in terms of our argument, we're looking at also drinks that have very high sugar content. Because the energy and sport drinks are of concern because of their sugar content. The debate here is the government is focusing on just drinks. We have all the things, yeah, that have high sugar content that are not being taxed. And so the debate against the sugar tax is, why do tax and drink when we have chocolates that have more sugar than the drink? But that's up to you to look at. But what we're focusing is just the drinks. And because the consumption of chocolate is not really the issue right now, we've not seen that double. But the consumption with these drinks has doubled over these years.
So we focus on drinks. Like, is Coca-Cola relevant to this question?
It is relevant in your argument when you bring in an evidence.
When you're trying to answer the question, it's not actually about drinks like Coca-Cola, it's about sports drinks.
Yeah, but you could, for instance, bring in how Coca-Cola reacted. Yeah. So you could have evidence from all the product that you can compare.
You can compare,
Yeah. It just depends on how you argue, on the style of your argument.
Just the question's really specifically worded. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
And the question itself only names apparently healthy sports drinks, which isn't Coca-Cola, and that's not energy drinks. Because apparently healthy sports drinks is a really tiny segment of those drinks. So are we only answering about those, or?
Yeah, our focus is on that because the consumption of those drinks have doubled. Okay.
Yeah.
But there will be evidence in the literature from other drinks, from Coca-Cola and other kind of drinks that have high sugar levels.
I try to provide an answer based on something like Coca-Cola when that's not what the question is explicitly.
No, but I think you could bring in an example of how the company reacted, and you can use that to kind of put forward an argument in terms of analyzing the impacts.
Yeah.
Would that be all right? Yeah. So for instance, if you're bringing data of consumption, you don't need to bring data of Coca-Cola per se, except it's a compelling argument. Your focus is on this sports and energy drink. Yeah? But if you have things that have happened in that, with that other product, in terms of how the producers reacted, it's good to bring it to the argument. Yeah. Any other questions before we go? So you'll be submitting on Monday, yeah? What time is the submission on Monday? 3 p.m. Sorry? 3 p.m. What do you think we do? All of us, maybe most of us. We'll try to submit at what time? 2:15, and then the system is crashing, and then you're sweating, and your palm is wet, and you want to cry or something. So what's the best thing to do? Can I have your attention, please? What's the best thing to do? Give yourself time, yeah? Ladies at the back, what should I do? Best practice? My deadline is 3 p.m.
Submit a bit earlier.
A bit earlier, good, good, yeah? Okay, any questions? Any questions? Today, what we've done today is just focus on the assignment, help you think around perhaps certain areas you've not considered. Your work should be at least, you should have a draft by now, okay? I'll be in my office. I'll be happy if you have further questions, but I don't think there are other questions. Thank you very much for coming, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.